Michael?
If a movie worked the first time, Hollywood is sure to rehash it, just because they can. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 unnecessary reboots. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at remakes that tried to bring older stories to a new generation, but really didn't need to because the originals were such classics.
You two of a kind, the happiest pen out.
Keep in mind, not all of these films have to be specifically considered reboots, and not all of these remakes are actually bad, but there's just no crucial reason for them to exist.
Open the goddamn door! I can't! Open it! They're all connected!
Number 10. Total Recall.
I cut the power. We've got about 10 seconds before that alarm brings an entire team down here.
What made the original Total Recall so awesome was its uniqueness. The Mars atmosphere, the alien mutants, that ambiguous feeling of, is this real or is it a dream? Plus, the 1990 Paul Verhoeven version was never afraid to get a bit silly.
Consider that a divorce.
The 2012 remake was anything but unique. For one thing, the whole movie takes place on Earth, which means no Mars and no mutants. Like, there's still a three-breasted woman, but what's the point? While it has some impressive action sequences, it takes itself too seriously and lacks any of the reality versus dream ambiguity. Overall, it doesn't do justice to the original film or Philip K. Dick's short story. It'd be better if this Total Recall was recalled.
You're married?
It's safe to say we're separated.
Number 9. The Karate Kid.
What happened to I?
I ran into a pole.
As we said, not all remakes are bad, and this one is far from it. The original 1984 Karate Kid follows a new kid in the neighborhood as he learns karate from a wise mentor, so he can defend himself against a bully.
Wax on, wax off.
The 2010 remake follows a similar premise, except the kid moves from halfway across the world to China and learns the art of Kung Fu instead of karate. Huh? So like, why isn't it called the Kung Fu Kid then?
Kung Fu lives in everything we do, Xiao Zui.
Joking and martial arts confusion aside, the movie adds a surprising level of depth to the mentor character and strengthens the student-teacher relationship.
Check it on. Firm.
Even so, was this remake needed? Not really, but that doesn't mean the fans won't appreciate it. Number 8. Footloose.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Who could forget this bit of teenage rebellion? A charismatic Kevin Bacon arrives in a town where rock music and dancing are forbidden and wakes up everyone's rebellious spirit.
Hey, what's this I see? I thought this was a party! Let's dance!
That's a silly but entertaining plot for an 80s flick. But how well does it hold up in a 2011 remake?
Hey, I thought this was a party! Let's dance!
While there is a lot of energy coursing through the cast, especially during the dance scenes, the film tends to steer away from the drama of the situation in favor of these dance numbers, unlike the original, where the priorities were reversed. Other than that, it feels more like a duplicate of its predecessor in terms of storyline. So, you could just kick off your Sunday shoes and watch the '84 original instead. Number 7. Annie.
Why are you running?
Gets me places quicker.
Though she originated in a comic strip, many remember Little Orphan Annie from the 1982 feel-good movie, or maybe even its 1999 TV remake. Both versions are about the optimistic redhead escaping her hard knock life and winning over a cold billionaire. However, this 2014 remake of the film features a race-swapped main character. While that's not an unwelcome change, we still have to ask, how well does the rest of the film hold up? Bet your bottom dollar it doesn't.
The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun.
The soundtrack is mostly rearrangements of the original tunes, served with a big ol' side of auto-tune. The film's also very generous with awkwardly placed meta jokes about being a musical.
And why are they singing?
People love musicals.
Add materialistic characters and a predictable plot, and you'll see why modernized Annie can be a hard-knock misfire.
It's the hard knock life for us. It's the hard knock life for us.
Number 6. Poltergeist.
You're here.
No one really asked for a Poltergeist remake, but that didn't stop producer Sam Raimi and director Gil Kenan from giving it a shot. For those living under a rock, 1982's Poltergeist centered on a family haunted by evil ghosts that can communicate with the youngest daughter.
They're here.
It was a new concept at the time and raised the bar for haunted house films, but ironically, the 2015 remake is nothing new. In fact, it's the same story as the original, the only notable differences being an overuse of CGI and a rather abrupt ending.
What are you doing? I got a job to do! Wait!
While it's not without a few fun moments, was it really worth remaking a cult classic if you can't recapture the fear its predecessor brought? Number 5. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Everything in this room is eatable. Even I'm eatable.
Despite the critical praise it received, author Roald Dahl hated 1971's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory because of its deviations from his book's plot.
The danger must be growing, for the rowers keep on rowing, and they're certainly not showing any signs that they are slowing.
Would he have liked Tim Burton's 2005 remake any better? We seriously doubt it. While the scenery and visuals are stunning, as is the case with most of Tim Burton's productions, what ultimately dooms this remake is the characterization of the two main characters. Charlie himself lacks any childlike realism, while Willy Wonka comes off as creepy and childish. Sorry, Johnny Depp, but this was not the role for you.
The best kind of prize is a surprise.
Though not universally hated, it can't hold a candle to the original. You know, the one that had actual Oompa Loompas instead of Deep Roy clones. Number 4. The Amazing SpiderMan franchise.
What are you? You a cop?
Really? You seriously think I'm a cop?
A few years after the end of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, Sony put Mark Webb in the director's chair for a new Spidey film.
Jack, climb now!
I can't.
Yes, you can!
This reimagining featured a new cast, new visuals, and a new take on the familiar origin story.
Call an ambulance! Someone call an ambulance!
Despite rehashing some plot points, the first movie was well received for its entertaining and emotional story, and featured a much better romance. The sequel, however, is where things took a turn. It tried to juggle too many stories and villains, and added some less than subtle foreshadowing to a series that ended too soon. The romantic tragedy, however, was spot on. Fortunately, Spidey has another chance to get it right with his homecoming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Nice job, kid.
Thanks. Well, I could have stuck the landing a little better. It's just a new suit.
Number 3. A Nightmare on Elm Street.
We gotta stop this.
How?
I don't know. Just don't fall asleep.
The original Nightmare on Elm Street was a terrifying success, creating one of the most famous horror icons ever in Freddy Krueger.
I'm gonna split you in two.
Surely they'd do their best to honor the source material in the 2010 remake, right? Well, not really.
How's this for a wet dream?
Their first mistake was replacing Robert Englund as the man with the ability to kill people in their dreams. This new guy, and the material he's given, take away the horrific charm of the original.
Nancy, please!
You really think your boyfriend could wake you up?
Please don't do this! Please!
I'm your boyfriend now.
The film suffers even more thanks to its heavy reliance on cheap jump scares rather than surreal psychological terror. All this reimagining did was soil the good name of a beloved slasher icon, and strip the franchise of the fright its predecessors produced.
Why are you screaming? I haven't even cut you yet.
Number 2. Planet of the Apes.
Take your stinking hands off me, you damn dirty human!
Another Tim Burton remake that made audiences go ape. The original 1968 Planet of the Apes is still regarded as a fantastic sci-fi film made stronger by its social commentary and twist ending. Burton's remake, however, leaves much to be desired. While the visuals and costumes are excellent, they aren't enough to support a lack of character chemistry, an unbalanced story structure, and very awkward moments. The icing on this reimagined mess of a cake is the ridiculous and head-scratch-worthy plot twist in the finale. While this film was a box office success, calling it a critical success is out of the question. However, A new reboot series would rise to breathe life back into the franchise.
These apes are smarter than you think! We've got to kill the leader!
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few unneeded honorable mentions.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Oh my God! Rise! No, no, dear God!
Good evening, officers. What seems to be the problem?
You drunk again, Arthur?
Ow! Oh.
Isn't that the
Number 1. Psycho.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 film, Psycho, is a psychological horror classic about a woman on the run who ends up in a motel run by a mentally disturbed mama's boy. It's been called one of the best slasher films of all time, and the 1998 remake effectively spits on its legacy. The remake barely does anything new, acting as a shot-for-shot remake in color, even though the black and white worked perfectly for Hitchcock's vision. The one notable change, according to many critics, the acting got worse.
Don't you go out? With friends?
A boy's best friend's his mother.
Let this be a lesson for Hollywood. If a classic ain't broke, don't try to remake it. Emphasis on try.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.